Our next speaker is going to be Sammy. Yeah, he does a lot of work with some divestment groups and works with refugees. Yeah.
So I think you said unfair a lot, and I think it's really not fair to us for you to keep telling us that the Democratic Party is with us, because Gina Raimoto's poster is right here, and she alone takes like hundreds of thousands of dollars from fossil fuel interests every single year. So that's kind of like the premise where we're at, and that's why we need you.
She also built
and your office
offshore wind farm on the East Coast, like happened on her watch.
But when you still get money from fossil fuel interests, that means you still.
It's just not fair. It's just not fair.
Well, it's not fair to us, but we need a climate debate, and that's kind of the reason why we're here, because you say that they're all on the same page, but how can that be true when you're still taking money from those interests? But anyway, I just wanted to tell a little bit about my story, because it directly affects people here in Rhode Island. And so everyone here has honestly already heard about the Syrian civil war, and that might seem far-fetched, like why are you bringing that up? But it's the story of people who were scattered across the globe, and some of them here in Rhode Island. And while you think that might not be related to climate change, the real driver of what happened in Syria and what's happening right now is actually the climate. 1.5 million people were driven out of their homes because of a severe drought and just record heat that drove them all into the cities to a government that was too corrupt to care about them. And they rose up in rebellion, and now we have millions of Syrians across the globe, some of them here in Rhode Island that were resettled recently. So to sit here and say that, it's unfair for us to do this and ask for this from the DNC, it's really not fair to a lot of the constituents in the state and a lot of people in the state that are directly affected by this, that are from the U.S., that are outside of the U.S., all of them, they're going to feel this every single day. And it's personally unfair to me because, all three of my homes, all of the places that I call home, New Orleans is going to be underwater. They went crazy in the past few weeks thinking that the levees were going to overflow if the tropical storm Barry, Hurricane Barry, went, slightly farther east. Rhode Island, my second home away from home, faces coastal flooding, air quality issues, all kinds of things related to that. And then Syria, a country in ruin. So if this all sounds unfair, it is unfair. It's unfair to us, and that's why we're here calling for the local chapter of the DNC in Rhode Island to stand with us and say that we need a green debate, because if there's continuing of the dragging of feet, we're improving our language or making it stronger, that's not what's needed. We've all acknowledged that there's not enough time. There's 11 years by the latest UN study. So how is that enough time? How is that fair for us to say, well, it's not in our hands, but we're gonna see what we can do. We need action. We need a pledge. We need the words that call the DNC to put on a climate debate, because it is important. And there's a lot of intersectionality, and I think the whole, well, how can we decide what's important and what's not? That argument is so often used to go against organizing and say, how can we prioritize suffering? And I've heard that used in movements I've been a part of, why are we focusing on this issue when there's so much stuff that's worse? They're all really connected, and there's a lot of racial justice issues that are in the Green New Deal that are specifically targeting low-income communities, minority communities, people of color, and I think that's often overlooked, and it just seems like this movement that's, just out for the DNC's blood, but we really just want the DNC to stand with us, and you say you are with us, so what we need from you is for you in your office. You're the executive director of the Rhode Island Democratic Party, and Mr. McNamara is the one of the DNC reps to the state, so we need all of y'all to say we need a climate debate and we need it now. And you said yourself, there's 12 debates, why can't the DNC have a climate debate if there's 12 of them? I don't see a problem with that, and it's really, really, really what's needed. And you said it's an issue for yourself anyway, so we really need you to stand with us and not just get in the way of what needs to happen. Thank you.
We, the people, are ready to lead, cause the DNC is making it hard to breathe. They care for power, they care for profit, they threaten our future, but it's time to stop it. Cause you can never take away the people of the world, we are here to stay. Cause you can never take away the people of the world standing here today. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what America looks like. This is what America organizing looks like.
This is what youth organizing looks like.
Show me what the future looks like.
This is what the future looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what America looks like.
This is what America looks like.
Show me what solidarity looks like.
This is what solidarity looks like.
Show me what youth organizing looks like.
This is what youth organizing looks like.
Show me what the future looks like.
This is what the future looks like.